future leaders. Bayes University is in a league of its own. We're all about our people, processes, and technology.
Bayes is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
We don't just produce graduates, but groom people into employers of labor.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
Bayes University Hospital offers a range of specialized services equipped with the latest technology, manned by a team of trusted professionals. And now, our vision extends beyond our walls with the Baba Ahmed University in Kano following our lead. Join us at Bayes University and invest in your future today.
Bayes University is the institution that you will get the best value for money education in Nigeria.
Bayes University. Learn to live.
On Global TV News Express, Nigerian leader arrives South Africa for President Ramaphosa's inauguration. Tinubu pushes for international cooperation on maritime security for blue economy. On foreign scene, Ramaphosa sworn in for second term as South African president. In business, minister makes case for rapid continent single market growth. In sports, President Federation Cup Finals holds June 29. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. President Bola Tinubu has arrived South Africa for the inauguration of President Cyril Ramaphosa's second term in office. President Tinubu arrived at the Air Force Base Waterkloof Airport, Pretoria on Wednesday. Other African and global leaders are expected to attend the inauguration ceremony tomorrow. Recall that the ruling African National Congress lost its majority seat in parliament in recent national election in South Africa, forcing the anti-apartheid era party that has governed South Africa since 1994 to share power with Democratic Alliance and other opposition parties in a government of national unity arrangement. Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State has sworn in new caretaker chairman for the 23rd local government areas of the state. 23 local government areas of the state, I beg your pardon. The swearing in was done at the government house in Port Harcourt, the state capital, amid tight security. The Ondo State Governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has announced the appointment of 3 special advisors and 7 senior special assistants to his cabinet. The announcement of the appointment was contained in a statement issued by his chief press secretary, Ebenezer Adeniyo. According to the statement, Governor Aiyedatiwa approved the appointment in continuation of his efforts to enhance governance and service delivery to the people of the state. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has denied granting bail to suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari. Justice Emeka Nwite, in his ruling, held that Mr. Kyari's bail is at the discretion of the court, in line with Section 161, subsection 2 of the Administration of the Criminal Justice Act. According to him, the defendant has not shown any evidence to warrant the court to grant him bail. The Federal High Court Abuja has dismissed a fundamental rights enforcement suit filed by fleeing Binance Holdings Limited executive Nadeem Anjarwalla against the National Security Advisor NSA and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC. Trial Judge Inyang Eko, in a ruling, dismissed the suit for lack of diligent prosecution. The federal government has announced plans to drive foreign direct investments by deploying the use of incentives. The managing director of the Nigerian Export Processing Zones Authority, Olufemi Ogunyemi, said the incentives includes tax breaks, duty waivers and deferred payments, noting that the move was in response to challenges posed by foreign exchange constraints and a reliable power supply. He stated that the move is an effort to reduce production costs and incentivize companies to maintain their operations within Nigeria. Minister of Culture, Art and Creative Economy Hannatu Musa Musawa says the federal government will activate plans to list the annual Ojude Oba Festival as one of those approved and supported by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Speaking at the 2024 edition of Ojude Oba Festival, held at the Awujales Pavilion in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State, the minister said the festival is in tune with President Bola Tinubu's mandate for the ministry, which seeks to take revenue generation from tourism to over $100 billion by 2030. The global festival showcases the rich cultural heritage and endowment of the people of Ijebu land and is celebrated on the third day of Eid al-Kabir. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa has charged troops of Operation Delta Safe to remain loyal and committed to the nation's security, warning them to avoid being used by enemies of the nation. The defense chief, who spoke at the Eid al-Kabir luncheon celebration at the Port Harcourt Barracks, also encouraged the troops to resist the temptation of being used by forces that seek to destroy the nation's economy. You're watching News Express, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. When News Express returns, federal government pushes for inclusive growth in export sector. This and other stories coming right after this break. Just stay with us.
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news, current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on Global Televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria! Come join Anthony Momodu on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are the Palestinians. Because
That this country gets it right.
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first.
Many thanks for staying with us. Now, if you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the News Express. On the foreign scene, President Cyril Ramaphosa, leader of South Africa's ruling African National Congress, took oath as the nation's president for the next 5 years. The inauguration ceremony took place in Pretoria, the administrative capital. Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived in North Korea for a 2-day state visit and was received by North Korea's ruler Kim Jong-un at the airport in Pyongyang. The 2-day visit will focus on further arms deliveries and Pyongyang, which Moscow intends to use in its war against Ukraine. The main part of the visit begins on Wednesday. The Russian news agency Interfax reported the meeting between Putin and Kim will begin on Kim Il-sung Square, Pyongyang's urban and symbolic center. Russia says it is waiting for the United States to respond to its propositions regarding a prisoner swap, days before U.S. reporter Evan Gershkovich was set to face trial in Russia. Gershkovich, a Wall Street Journal reporter, was arrested in March 2023 on espionage charges rejected by his family, employer, and the White House as false. President Vladimir Putin said in February that talks on a prisoner swap involving the journalist were underway, but the Kremlin has not given any details on the progress of the negotiations. Gershkovich is set to face a secretive trial in the Oros city of Yekaterinburg in June 26 and could face up to 20 years in prison if found guilty. Washington has accused Moscow of arresting its citizens on baseless charges to use them as bargaining chips to secure the release of Russians convicted abroad. In business, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has emphasized the importance of international cooperation on maritime security to unlock the vast potential of Africa's blue economy. The president spoke at the 2024 International Maritime Conference in Lagos, held to commemorate the Nigerian Navy's 68th anniversary. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president acknowledged the transnational nature of maritime threats and the need for greater international collaboration to address them. Reduction in the cost of trade, facilitation of business expansion, and effective standardization have been identified as factors to rapid market growth under the Africa Single Market. This was made known by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Uzoka-Anite, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ambassador Noura Abba Rimi, at the 30th General Assembly of the Africa Organization for Standardization in Abuja. Kike Lomo Okere has details.
Investment Doris Uzoka-Anite, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Noura Abba Rimi, says the African Continental Free Trade Agreement presents great opportunities for businesses in the continent, including small and medium-term enterprises. She therefore stressed the need for all countries to work hard and deliberate on policies that will spur robust standardization activities on the continent.
I wish to assure you that the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will continue to support ASO to facilitate African industrialization and intra-Africa and global trade through the provision of harmonized African standards and conformity assessment procedures that promote sustainable development.
President of the African Organization for Standardization, Professor Alex Dodo, noted that standard and trade have been identified as the milestone that will take Africa to a global competitive level. It says there is need for technocrats to develop a system of education befitting of African beyond grammatical grammar borrowed from other parts of the world.
If we as standards agencies of Africa do not consider competencies that are required and recognize them through certification schemes for the informal sector, then we are doing what Lord Bolton said in Ghana this week, that we are beginning just to educate to keep the global system just as it is.
The Director General, Standard Organization of Nigeria, Ifeanyi Okeke, charges African countries with the responsibilities of fostering quality culture that meets the international benchmark in order to reduce technical barrier to trade within the continent. He further says there is urgency need for African countries to redouble effort for quality and formidable education for all African children.
The government's commitment to educational reform reflects our understanding that education is the foundation of national development. At the Standards Organization of Nigeria, we are committed to integrating this roadmap with our collective goal of fostering a quality culture and transfer of knowledge through standardization.
The 30th African Organization for Standardization is tagged Educate an Africa Fit for the 21st Century, Building a Quality Culture, One Market, One Standard. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Nigeria currently ranks 88th position out of 141 countries in the world. Bank Logistics Performance Index indicating a minimal improvement in the global logistics ranking of 91st in 2022. The report released by the World Bank emphasizes the critical role that reliability and resilience play in the effectiveness of logistics. International trade is a significant driver of economic growth, and logistics is the backbone of trade. On the logistics performance score, Nigeria recorded 1.9 out of the overall point of 5.0, while on the customs score, it recorded 2.6. The federal government has announced the addition of 17 deep offshore oil blocks to the 2024 licensing round for oil fields in Nigeria. Some deep offshore blocks were recently put on offer for the 2022 to 2023 mini bid round, and other blocks that cut across onshore, continental shelf and deep offshore terrains were also put on offer for the Nigeria 2024 licensing round. Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Gbenga Komolafe, disclosed this at the pre-bid conference for the 2024 licensing round in Lagos. The National Board for Technical Education has approved the National Occupational Standards for the conversion, calibration and maintenance of auto gas-powered vehicles and the operation and maintenance of electric vehicles. A statement signed by the Director General of the Nigeria National Automotive Design and Development Council, Oluwemimo Osanikbi, noted that before receiving approval, the council collaborated with industry experts and the Sector Skills Council to develop the draft National Occupational Standards. The federal government has advocated for inclusive growth within the export sector for all segments of society. This was made known during a visit by the Senate's Committee on Trade and Investment, led by its chairman, Senator Sadiq Umar, as part of its oversight function of federal government agencies and parastatals under the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. He noted that growing the export sector would enable small-scale and medium enterprises, youth and women to benefit from economic opportunities. The Nigeria Football Federation has announced the grand finale of this year's President's Federation Cup men and women competitions. It will take place at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, on Saturday, June 29. To end the Global News Express, let's take a look at some of our top stories. Nigerian leader arrives in South Africa for President Ramaphosa's inauguration. Tinubu pushes for international cooperation on maritime security for blue economy. On the foreign scene, Ramaphosa sworn in for second term as South African president. In business, minister makes case for rapid continent single market growth. In sports, President's Federation Cup finals hold June 29th. That's it on the News Express, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching. See you again.